Hey everybody, sorry I'm a little bit late to my own party. Hey Master and Madam, I see you right here. Good morning to you. Uh, I apologize for logging on a little bit late. It's been a little bit of morning. I'm trying to just gather my breath. I don't see that anybody's here yet, so I'm just going to use that time to prepare what I should have done probably last night at the very least. Okay. Oof. Yeah, again, I apologize a little bit late, and I appreciate everybody logging in on a Sunday. I know that it's not our normal day. My little guy had a doctor's appointment yesterday. I knew that it was going to be very, very tight, and sure enough, we didn't get home until at least 12:30. So that wouldn't have worked if I had scheduled it for yesterday, as I typically do. Let me tell you, I'm just kind of gathering my breath a little bit. Morning, madam. I was doing a little bit of yard work just a while ago. I got up about 8 o'clock just to start working on that. The little guy already had me up technically, but if and just to kill a bit of time. Hey Neil, no, don't be sorry, dude. I just jumped in. You didn't miss anything. I think I've talked about this in the past. Our house was abandoned before we moved in for a very long period of time, so upkeep was not done. We've done a lot of work to the house. The yard we've never gotten to, and I'm on, I guess you could say, a steep hill. So landscaping was atrocious, and I have not been able to get a landscaper to come and really do what we want to do to it. So I finally, after 5 years, my wife and I finally agreed on a game plan, and part one of that was me just going up and ripping out every weed and anything I can rip out. So that's what I was doing this morning, and almost had a heat stroke probably outside. But luckily, I ran in enough time to start here. So I see a couple of people have trickled in today. Let me go ahead and I'll start. I did go to my LCS, so I'm going to show off what I got. I did do a little bit of reading this week as well. And very, very special, I have an unboxing as well. I received my Reggie Collects Soldier Supply box. Excuse me. And I've been wanting to open it so bad. I was like, you know what? I need to open this on a live stream. So whether you're watching this live with me right now, recorded, I appreciate you checking in, of course. Before I get to all that goodness, I'm going to start talking about one of the news articles today, not our main one. For a second, I honestly thought I could get through 1 week. We'd be able to get through 1 week, I should say, without talking about Warner Brothers or Ezra Miller or The Flash or just whatever is going on there. Last night, and I don't know if this has been substantiated by Warner Brothers yet, I did see a report that The Flash is going to go straight to HBO Max. I don't know exactly how HBO will benefit monetarily. I know that they spent a lot on the movie. That's why they need to release it, and they can't reshoot it. I just don't know, besides subscriptions, I guess, how they make money off of Max. And to be honest with you, by the time it does hit streaming, we may very well be looking at a different company because of Discovery and HBO merging. So it'll definitely be interesting. It's not a film I'm chopping up the bit to see with or without Ezra Miller. I like the idea of Michael Keaton returning as Thomas Wayne, at least in this. But, time will tell. We'll just see. Madam and Master, by the way, I have to say, I tuned into the comic book crowd this past Friday night. If you're unfamiliar and you're watching this, again, either live or recorded, Joe from Anachronic Comics, another one of my favorite YouTubers. Everybody's my favorite YouTuber. Just joking. Joe has a great show, and about once a month, he has a panel of other great comic book YouTubers, the Blasters included. Matt Woods is usually there. Alan from Climbing Comics, who I'm glad has brought back that grading segment he does. One of my favorite segments on YouTube. Wayne from Squirrel Madness Comics. And I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. My brain is still kind of fried from outside. But Madam and Madam were on. They did a great job. There's a nice little drawing contest to get information and, most importantly, to vote. Neil, you're one of my favorites. Neil, you're my favorite whose channel name starts with Neil. Everybody's my favorite. But go to Anachronic Comics YouTube channel and go to the community tab and make sure that you vote. Madam had a great drawing. Master has a great one too. It was kind of funny. I had the volume a little low, so I didn't quite hear who he was drawing. I thought it was Billy Corrigan for a moment, but I have to watch it. I think that you guys actually just had a video pop up yesterday too. I haven't tuned in yet. Yesterday was a very busy day, but I intend to. I do a lot of my YouTube watching actually during the weekday. So before we jump into our main topic, I'm going to first show you what I picked up at my LCS this week. And it's been a long time, almost 2 months. But as I've reported in the past, I've significantly chopped down on my pull list. A lot of that was because my son was on his way. And look, I know that diapers cost money, formula costs money, clothes cost money. One thing I'm finding is going back and forth between appointments costs money. And, with inflation the way it is now too. Hey, White Mojo Wolf. Yep, I actually just got my BCW bags and boards in too. I have to continue with my project of putting everything together. But as I was saying, with inflation the way it is, I'm glad that I did pull back on my pull list. And I might be making some additional cuts, to be honest with you, in the future. It's just the way things are. My LCS did miss a couple of titles. I have to say, my LCS, and I know I've spoken about before, is great. Fat Moose Comics and Whitney. Sean, the current owner, that's a whole nother story that you need another whole podcast, and there's been many podcasts to talk about. What we have an arrangement where if there's something that's popping up that's not typically on my pull list, or if there's something special I want, I'll message him, and usually he's able to grab it. If he's not, I of course have to go through different venues, and he did miss one of my emails, so I do have more things coming. I also have some pre-orders that are going to be coming probably sometime next month, so I'll have more of a steady flow of new acquisitions to show you as the weeks go by. So enough of my yammering. The first is Marauders, issue number 3. I almost didn't pick this one up. If you've seen it in past live streams, I kind of have mixed feelings about this new volume of Marauders. I understand it's a new creative team. It's got some of my favorite characters, and there's a lot of aspects I like. I like, for example, that they carried over the relationship of Dakin and Aurora into this book from X Factor. What I don't like is that it's just, I feel like they took what was special out of the first volume of Marauders, whereas Kitty Pryde and a crew were sailing around the world trying to help mutants who, for whatever reason, could not get to Krakoa. And they've kind of taken it into a different direction now, where they're in outer space. There's a lot of story to go on with the Shi'ar. It feels more kind of like a generic X-Men story from the early 90s, to be honest with you. I'm giving it at least 3 more issues. That's up to issue number 6, and then I'm going to decide if I want to keep it in print or not. I have no problem waiting for it to come out digitally. Art is another big kind of issue with me too. It's a different kind of cartoony style that, while I know that some appreciate, I just don't. Just my opinion. If you like it, more power to you. X-Men Red number 3. I think this is a variant. Yes, thank you, Neil. No, there's been more than 5 people. I'll get to that in a moment. But X-Men Red, to be honest with you, is one of the books I've been looking forward to. I have a feeling that the future of the X titles are going to be kind of laid out between X-Men Red and Immortal X-Men. Again, I'm a little bit behind what you'll see here, but I really think they're kind of building up to kind of like an X-Men Civil War type of thing. But I was intrigued by X-Men Red because I feel like they're continuing with a lot of what we saw at the conclusion of Ten of Swords, where you have Arakko in its own kind of world, in its own kind of continent, rather. I just felt like they kind of left that out there. And then at the conclusion of last year's Hellfire Gala, X-Men had terraformed Mars and said, okay, Arakko, you can live here. And this is kind of a good natural progression to that. So I'm excited to see that. So yeah, I wanted to thank Neil. Hey, Trev, you've just not updated your play. I updated my playlist. Now, here's the deal. If you're unfamiliar, and you probably shouldn't be at this point, I am running a 100 subscriber contest, and it runs out this week, actually. June 30th is your final day to enter. And what I want you to do is I want you to tell me about your LCS. Why do you love your LCS? I said, hashtag love your LCS. If you are a content creator, you can create a video telling me who your LCS is, where they're located, and why you like them so much. Even if it's an online LCS. You know, I know a lot of people nowadays don't go to a brick and mortar store. And I'm actually learning a lot about these online stores. Deluxe, right off the top of my head, had a great website I looked into. And regardless, you learn a few things. Now, if you're not a content creator, you can still enter. Just go to the video that has 100 subscriber contest and leave a comment telling me the same information, who your LCS is and why you like them so much. Next Saturday, and yes, we're going to be here next Saturday. I don't, knock on wood, I don't think we have any appointments or anything scheduled. And hopefully I didn't jinx myself. But next Saturday, I will be announcing the winner. I'm not doing like a duck race or anything. I think I'm just going to do the old school pen and paper, throw it into something and pick it out. Maybe I'll even let the little guy do it. Excuse me if he's awake at that time. But yes, Neil, thank you for reminding me. And if you are a content creator and you do want to create a video and you need a little bit of inspiration, or you just want to check out some really great and creative videos, I have created a playlist. There's only been 5 content creators who've entered so far that have actually created videos. You know, I love them. They're very, as I've said, creative and just very cool and different and interesting. So I urge you, whether you're going to create a video or not, check them out, because these people took the time and put the time and hard work into making the video. So show them your appreciation. And if you don't know them, give them a like and even a follow, or a subscription rather. Back to my haul. Wolverine number 22, the Hellfire Gala variant. I did a video about the costumes of the Hellfire Gala last year with my sister, who was a fashion guru. But unfortunately, it was my first time trying to do a live stream, and I didn't get any audio, and nobody could figure out why. So that video never came out. Hopefully, we're able to do a video again this year. I know she's got a busy schedule. Noctera, number 11. I'm interested in seeing this. I think this is the conclusion of Volume 2 of the series. It's been building. Wolverine, number 21. Very cool. Yeah, it is one of her better outfits. I agree. Undiscovered Country. This is a one-shot on the Destiny Man. This is a great series. It's a very slow read, and this kind of started right before the pandemic started. The premise is that China had basically called in all of their debts across the world. The economy was crashing, and America has sealed themselves off from the rest of the world. And then it was kind of an interesting parallel how just a couple of weeks later, at least here in the Northeast, we were all on lockdown. And the writers, Scott Snyder and Charles Soule, they live in New York. I think Scott Snyder might be in Queens, and Soule, I'm not sure where exactly he is, but I think you get about the 3rd or 4th issue in, they start talking about, hey, yeah, we know there's a lot of parallels. We didn't plan this, but we're still doing it. But it's been a good series. It picked up a lot of steam, and it's one I think I'm seeing through to the end. I don't think they've announced an end yet, but it's definitely been a good read. Scarlet Witch I like too for the Hellfire Gala costumes. Oblivion Song, number 36. The long-awaited conclusion to this series. I've been waiting for this to come out now at least 4 months. I know delays happen, and it's kind of weird because this issue and the issue before that were the only times this title was not on time, from at least what I could remember. So I'm interested to see how that story ends. I'll be honest with you, it kind of started falling apart a little bit for me towards the end. I just want to see how they wrap it up. Hit Me, number 3. One of the few AWA titles I picked up, and it's a limited series. I think the 4th one's out this week. It's not about blackjack. That's all I'll tell you. Yeah, Neil, it's worth a read. I would say if you can get it in trade or digitally and you can get it at a discount, even better. It's not what I would consider a must read. Okay, this next one, I'm going to watch my language and just say F this place. Curious to see what the hype is on that one. Catwoman number 43. Yes, I picked up a Teenie Howard book. I had gotten off of Catwoman when Ram V picked up. I know everybody likes Ram V. I just didn't care for how he was taking the character. Teenie Howard is definitely not one of my favorite writers. I liked what she did on Gamora. I hated what she's been doing in Excalibur. And in fact, I've not picked up Knights of X because, okay, well, you couldn't do it with Excalibur. What are you going to do with the title change? The one issue I've read of hers of Catwoman, I kind of had mixed feelings on. So I'm interested to see how this comes out. Monstrous number 40. Great series. This one is coming to a conclusion soon. Neil, I'm going to be honest with you. If you have the option to pick between reading a collected version of Oblivion Song and a collected version of Monstrous, read Monstrous. Great, and I think an underread or underappreciated series. They won an Eisner Award, I think, the first year it was out. But I think there's only, a couple issues left of that story. Just very well done. Actually, madam, if you're still here, you want to see some really outstanding artwork here. You know what? I'm going to just flip into one of the pages. Hopefully it's not anything spoilery. Some really outstanding and in-depth artwork. Check this out. And, I'm not the kind that typically likes fantasy stories or medieval stories, but this one it's not quite medieval. It's definitely a fantasy world. Definitely a great read. Immortal X-Men number 3. Here is the Destiny variant. Love me some Phil Noto. I didn't realize I even had this. This is another copy of Immortal X-Men number 3. This is the Skrull variant. What if Miles Morales became Thor? This is a variant of that. I know that this has been quite controversial. I'm going to see what the to-do is. I've been, for the most part, enjoying the What If Miles Morales series. I thought that the Hulk one so far has been the best. And I think the issue 5 comes out, if not this week, then next week. Okay. Immortal X-Men number 2, and I guess this is a Spider-Gwen variant. Thank you, Neil. Yeah. People say smash the like button. I say, look, if you're like me and you do this on your phone, don't smash anything. Just lightly tap it. That's all you need to do. As long as you hit it, go for it. Look, if you have maybe some sort of unresponsive, screen or something like that, or maybe you're pissed about something and smashing the like button is going to give you some solace, go ahead and do it. I just tap it when I do it. A lot of this is just the heat from outside still talking. New Mutants number 25. New Mutants has consistently been one of my favorite of the X-Men titles since this whole Krakoan Age relaunch. When Vita Alida, I can't even think of her name right now, but when she took it over, I was a little kind of iffy because you came off of a good run from Brisson and Hickman himself. But Vita Alida has done really a tremendous job with it. And it really, to be honest with you, it's what all of the X-Men books should be, at least in my opinion. Best thing I could say about it. X-Force number 28, another great X-Men series. If you've been reading this, you kind of see what I meant about seems like there's a kind of a civil war brewing between X-Men teams. Beast has just been, for lack of a better word, a dick. It kind of came to a head a little bit most recently in X-Force Annual. But yeah, they're definitely doing another direction here. X-Men Red number 2. One of the great things about the Krakoan Age, I'm happy that they brought back, this was the third Summers brother, whose name escapes me at the moment. That right there. I'm still not used to working backwards on this. Yeah, then I had read that Hickman originally had it planned where he was basically talking to people who weren't there, not realizing that they weren't there, and he was going to have some sort of a psychotic break. But he messed up and accidentally included one of those people who were going to be actually, in his mind, like in one of the panels, so he didn't do that. Anyway, excited to see that. This is Knights of X. Yes, I just said I'm not buying a Teenie Howard book, but I got this because I am collecting all the Hellfire Gala variants, and here is Rogues. And I thought that's a really cool cover. Who did the cover on this? Cover by Mahmoud Asrar and Matt Wilson. Very cool work. This is another copy of Immortal X-Men #3. Again, I didn't realize I got this variant as well. This is the Mark Brooks variant. Big fan of Mark Brooks. You may have seen it in some of my recorded videos on the wall here, a Mark Brooks print I got in 2008 at New York Comic Con, which has pretty much all of the X-Men who were around at the time. I'm trying to see. I think Cyclops is the only one that was missing. I'm not sure if he was dead at the time, to be honest with you. I'm still getting used to this streaming and comments at the same time. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Mark Brooks. Very cool style. Hey, Brian. Sorry I missed breakfast yesterday. I got to watch your replay. Brian and I actually had a nice little chat this past week, and you will be seeing that on his channel soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Subscribe and hit for notifications on Brian's channel if you're not already subscribed, of course. New Mutants #26. I like this cover a lot too. And I've already spoken about how much I love New Mutants, at least this run. Won't go into that further, but that looks interesting. X-Men #12. And again, the Hellfire Gala edition here. You've got Cyclops in, I don't know if that's a jacket or, I don't know what the correct term is. All I know is that when I used to have to go into the office for work, you're in an office environment, the thermostat is a little temperamental. Sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold. A lot of the women I worked with used to wear these, like, I used to joke and call them capes or ponchos around. I don't know why. That's just what that reminds me of. But still a cool cover. And this was the final of the new books I picked up. This is the conclusion to Homesick Pilots, #15. Homesick Pilots is a title that I had started reading, liked it a lot, was about to drop it, and then I heard was ending, so I was like, all right, might as well just go to the end of it. I will say this: issue 14 was well done, and it was kind of more back to the story that I was enjoying, and hopefully 15 ends in a satisfactory conclusion. I did pick up one other book, and I grabbed this. I forgot who recommended this. I want to say it was Gary B, but I may be wrong. As you will see in one of my videos that I'm going to put up this week, I'm in Texas 108. I'm working as below 60. Always got to. I'm in Texas. Yeah, I mean, Texas is Texas. Yeah, I mean, I'm in New Jersey. Definitely not 108, but yeah, it was definitely hot. And plus, because I was dealing with weeds. Hey, Comic Journey. Because I was dealing with pulling a lot of weeds, I'm wearing a long sleeve sweatshirt and sweatpants. So right before I came in here and I realized I got to jump on a live stream, that sweatshirt was clung to me. I looked like I was like Catwoman. So I ran upstairs and grabbed a t-shirt quickly. But as I said, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, Gary V may have recommended this. This was Rom Space Knight #31. And I grabbed this because it may be, if not the first, then an early appearance of Rogue. I do have the official first appearance of Rogue. I actually filmed a video, earlier this week, where I go through my number ones, my first appearances rather, and that first appearance of Rogue, Avengers Annual number 10, is definitely in there to give you a little sneak peek. But this way I kind of cover my bases. I guess this is it's not the first appearance, it's the second appearance. I don't know. So we'll go to my other news topic today that I really wanted to talk about. Then we're going to go into the unboxing I have from Reggie Collects. I just watched the new Doctor Strange film last week. And no, I'm not going to discuss any spoilers. So if you haven't watched it yet, jump on your Disney Plus. I'm not going to ruin anything. So I finally feel like I'm caught up. I am caught up, at least until Thor comes out. As I've said before, I'm not watching any of the movies actually in the theater right now. With COVID and the little guy, it's just we're playing it safe. And you know, it's kind of worked out in our favor, I think, in that aspect, in that respect. So watching it, I couldn't help but think, you know, there's a lot of talk about what's the next phase that's going to pop up, who's the next big baddie. And I know Kevin Feige actually also announced, I'm not going to ruin anything, Neil, don't worry about it. Kevin Feige just announced that he will be disclosing more about Phase 4 relatively soon. But just looking at the kind of different mix of films that we've seen so far, you have Spider-Man and Doctor Strange messing with the multiverse. You know, you have Ms. Marvel dealing with something which kind of sounds like it may or may not be from outer space. We don't know that yet. That's another series we've been watching and enjoying. Where are they going? You know, everybody seems to think that they're pointing towards Secret War. The only thing that makes me hesitant in saying 100% that I believe that or I don't believe that is that, you know, Marvel likes to throw those curveballs. I mean, look, we're all still looking for Mephisto. Which, by the way, hey, look, Marvel, if you want to sign up Johnny Depp for something, I think it'd be a great Mephisto. Either that or, you know, go into some sort of contract with that cologne he wears, that Sauvage that you see advertised again, and just make him part of the Sauvage Avengers. Yep, dumb jokes. I'm mastering the dad jokes. It's only been a short time, but I feel like I'm at least maybe like a first degree black belt in dad jokes. So where do you guys think that this is all going? I personally think, yeah, maybe Secret Wars is a possibility, but I think given that Kang is involved, hey, Psychedelic, how's it going? I was actually thinking about it yesterday because I was walking around my yard. I definitely didn't see any of that mug group talking about mug group a month or two ago, probably longer at this point in time, but I definitely don't have it. Comic Journey, yes. I'll leave those jokes to you. So again, I know Marvel likes to give us that little bit of a left curveball and whatnot. I don't know if the big conclusion will be Secret Wars. Again, I think with Kang's involvement, it's obviously going to be more time travel. And Neil, without giving a spoiler, there is one phrase that Doctor Strange does say in this movie that I think supports this idea. And again, if you haven't seen the Doctor Strange film, it's on Disney Plus now. I'm not ruining anything. You know, I managed to say spoiler-free for this and for Spider-Man, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody else. Mugwort, yeah. I mean, even in the season, I couldn't find it around there, but I don't know. I'll look for it. It looked interesting. I remember you said your wife had made like a pancake from it, but it looked good. Was my point. So yeah, I mean, I'm not rushing to think that they're going to introduce the X-Men through this. I don't know. Anytime somebody says, "Oh, yeah, they're definitely bringing in Wolverine here," I kind of like, really, you know, Wolverine, Omega Red, Mephisto. We've all heard them before. If anything, it's apparent to me that they're concentrating on the Young Avengers. They have been for the past couple projects. You know, that seems to be the way that they're building. There's reports that they are making a Thunderbolts film. I have a feeling if you see that, it's not going to be definitely in the same kind of spirit as the original comic. Yeah, I didn't read the original run on Thunderbolts. I did read the subsequent runs, and I get the basic idea. And one of the reasons I think it's not going to be exactly like the comic, because it just draws so many different parallels to Suicide Squad. And Marvel, when it's at its best, likes to do something different. When it's at its worst, that's another story. But hopefully whatever they do is interesting and entertaining. I do think, to be honest with you, I'm more interested in seeing next. Yeah, Thor's coming out. I'm interested in seeing what's going on with Armor Wars. They've been kind of quiet about that. I don't know if they've started filming yet. I feel like they're starting maybe at the end of the summer. But really, you have, where they mentioned that, they purposely made that platform. Psychedelic, I'm not reading that. That's a spoiler. I'm not reading it out loud, but I read that too, and I kind of was like a blink and miss it kind of moment for me. I do think that we're going to see Doom sooner rather than later. I know people have been talking about him for Black Panther too. That I don't know. To be honest with you, one of my ideal kind of outcomes with the Black Widow film, this is before the movie came out. I figured because it was kind of set in the past, it's between Civil War and Infinity War. I thought that whatever Black Widow did was going to somehow destabilize a portion of Europe and allow Doom to return to the throne of Latveria, and that was going to be the first time that we saw him. But I was wrong. That's why I try not to spec at least too much. But I'm really interested in seeing really what's going on with Armor Wars. We haven't heard a lot about it. I do like that some of Tony Stark's, Iron Man's, I should say, villains that aren't necessarily like the physical ones, but more of like the other billionaires, like Justin Hammer and I can't think of the character's name, the guy that Walter Goggins played. No worries. I watched it. I know Neil hasn't yet, but and to be honest with you, I think Marvel almost spoiled that film. Marvel did spoil aspects of that film on their own, but no harm, no foul. Yeah, I mean, look, you had some great talent in those billionaires, Sam Rockwell, Walter Goggins, and I'm anxious to see them return to the screen. I do think, this is the furthest and most specky thing I think you're going to hear me say. If you're looking to speculate on something for Armor Wars, because everybody's looking for reread right now, there is one character, and I've said this in the past, that the Iron Man films and the Avengers films have teased, but we haven't seen come to fruition yet, and this is a good time to introduce her. If you look at, what was the second Avengers film? Age of Ultron, and I am going to spoil that. It's been out 10 years at this point. If you haven't watched it, whatever, and it's not a major thing. After Vision has become sentient and is no longer a voice inside Tony's helmet, you see there's a scene where it has different kind of file uploads, little discs or something he's talking about. He's talking just on his desk. And one of them is marked Jocasta. I do think Jocasta will be a part of Armor Wars. So if you want to spec on something, you can go and her book, I think, is still relatively inexpensive. I picked a copy up. Mine is beat to all hell, but that's as specky as I'm going to get on this channel. All right, so why don't I do this? I'm going to go ahead and do my unboxing here. Again, this is my Reggie Collects Soldier Supply box. I'm especially psyched to see this one because I know he said you have a chance of getting an ash can of isolation, which I'd like to see. And I left my knife over there. Okay, let's see if I can open it without it. An ash can of isolation. A copy of Renfield with art by Steve Conjay, who those who watch Reggie may know. And I'll be honest with you, I've only seen a little bit of Conjay's work. I honestly just like the way Reggie says his name, Conjay. It's got a certain panache to it. But I do follow him on Instagram. His art is phenomenal, so I'd like to read that. I used to read Dracula a lot when I was in middle school. I wasn't like a gothic kid or nothing like that. I just thought it was a good story. The Gary Oldman film had come out at that time too, so it was just one of my dumb little phases as a kid. And I think there's also an opportunity to get $100 credit from Shortbox. I might be wrong on that one. That one he might be saving for commentaries and whatnot. But hey, if I get all three, great. I don't want to sound greedy, but any one of the three I'd be pleased with. So let's see. He always packs his stuff in these reptilian overlord boxes, which are good. And it's especially good timing because recycling is this week. Okay. So we have these wall mounts, which I have a small collection of. I don't mount things on my wall. I feel a little bit of a way about that, but you can expand this to put on a desk or whatnot. My wife actually takes these and displays her plates and whatnot upstairs. So there's another use. We have these My Light, I think they're called My Light, clear boards and bags. I have a small collection of those going too. And now to the comics. Nope. Hold on, I'm sorry, there were some other things in there I didn't see. Bear with me for a second as I just throw stuff around my office. Luckily, nothing breakable. So here's a cool short box pin. I've used short box. I like it. I don't love it. If you're going to buy a graded comic, I think this is the safest way to do it. The only thing I would say with it is buyer beware. I don't sell, especially not on short box, but it seems like a lot of the pricing on it is a little out of whack. But it's kind of interesting to also see too. At the height of the pandemic, when CGC was months behind, the kind of new stuff that people were getting graded. I imagine these are people who send in like hundreds of comics at a time, because now like you can get them pretty cheap. I also was kind of looking at stuff that I might actually have in my collection that I wanted to get slabbed but haven't submitted, because some of the prices are even lower than the cost of slabbing itself. So go figure. And there's this, I guess I need a battery for it. This is, I think, supposed to be a UV light, so you can look for color corrections. I've never really looked at a back issue that hard, but I haven't really spent a huge amount of money on one particular comic before. I'm gonna put that aside. If I do that in the future, I don't anticipate doing it in the near future. That's a handy tool. If not, I'll probably just play with it at the LCS or something. So now let's look at the comics. Oh, it feels like there's something in here. Something other than comics. So I'm a little excited. The first, Fantastic Four number 347. This is an early appearance, I believe, of the new Fantastic Four. I have a small run on Fantastic Four. I'm not looking to complete it, but I don't believe I have that one, so that'd be cool. And this is a direct edition. Art Adams artwork on it. This is a very thick Walking Dead Deluxe. I've said it before. I'm not really a Walking Dead fan. I'm probably the one collector who hasn't been getting into Walking Dead. The two copies of Walking Dead Deluxe I own are from Reggie Supply boxes. Let me see this. Like, interesting that CGC is making more modern, since there are not many pre-1995s. Look at it. Yeah. Hey, look, people slab the weirdest things. If you just want to go look on Shortbox, you'll see exactly what I mean. You can trace bodily fluid with the UV light. Yeah. It's one of those things that, yeah, I know you can do it, but should you do it? Okay, and this is Toxic Avenger, #1. I remember watching this cartoon as a kid. As you get the glare from the window. And let's see. Here is a print. I think this is by Nate Made It. Very cool. Okay. Legends of the Dark Claw. I remember this from the DC Marvel Amalgam universe. Hey, cool. Okay, and these are the two smaller things. These are the clear stick-up labels. I would only sell to slab. I would only slab to sell. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are in that mindset as well. Yep, Dark Claw. And here is another Reggie Collects card here. This one is about before you buy or sell, know the FMV. I like these little cards. You get little kind of tips. The first one helps kind of say the color, I guess you could say, like the off-white to white, like what determines that. So I've actually used that. You put it up against a page and you match the color to it. So I have a little collection on my shelf now. You might have seen that in some of my videos. Yeah, Dark Claw, excuse me. Pardon me. Yeah, I love the Amalgam titles. I'd love to see them revisit the Amalgam universe. I don't think it'll ever happen just because, from what I understand, they're still very kind of contentious about it. To be honest with you, the Amalgam I want to see, I thought it'd be interesting if you see a Batman Ghost Rider Amalgam. I mean, think about this. You could do the story like Bruce Wayne sees his parents killed, as you know, we know the Batman origin story. But rather than become the Cape Crusader, he makes a deal with Mephisto to become the, I guess you would say, the Bat Rider or the Ghost Batman. I like Bat Rider a little bit better. And hunt the streets of Gotham for justice, something like that. Yeah, I think that'd be a cool title to read. I don't know. If you have any other Amalgam ideas, go ahead and throw them up in the chat or comment, of course, if you're not watching us live. Let's see here. How's the CWO? I don't know what that. Yeah, I know. I had heard about that with Snyder and Cates. I don't think it's going to happen. I know that from what I've heard, it was even a miracle that the first one happened, just that the companies are just so contentious with one another. And I mean, let's face it right now, too. Both of them are cutting down their own lines. You know, in DC's case, you know, you have, I think, 80% of the titles are Batman. So I don't know that they would make room to do that. And that's a shame. I would even consider doing that, reading that, even if they did it digitally. Knight Rider, that's not a bad one. Hopefully they don't get into any kind of copyright issues with it. I like that. As I said, I did do a little bit of reading this week, not floppy books. I did read a digital series, which I can't talk about yet because I'm going to be interviewing the creator on Thursday. So I'm going to be practicing a little bit with my StreamYard just to make sure I understand how the screen share and interview process works on it. Thank you, Brian, for some tips on that earlier this week, too. So I'm not going to tell you what that was, but I'm also going to give you an opportunity, or give somebody an opportunity to read, to win, I should say, 4 issues of that series digitally. So potentially in the next week or so, you have an opportunity to win 2 contests. Yes, nudge the button. There you go. The titles I did read were things that actually I had digitally in my Dropbox and kind of forgot about. A while back ago, I had supported a Kickstarter from Stranger Comics. I wasn't familiar with them at first. I saw 2 of their representatives come on Reggie Collects. One of them, I don't remember the guy's name, his presentation, to be honest with you, in my opinion, just wasn't very good. I was a little bored by it. The second guy who came up, Gently Pressed, there you go. There's a good joke in there somewhere that I just can't summon right now. I'm still fried a little bit, Trev. But the second guy who came up, Sebastian Jones, stood out for me for a couple of reasons. One, he was very energetic, very engaging and entertaining. It actually made me want to read the book. The second one, he kind of reminded me of Jamie Braddock. If you are, I know we were talking about Excalibur earlier. If you're an Excalibur fan, he is Brian Braddock and Betsy Braddock's occasionally evil brother, who's been kind of strange. Take care, Brian. Thanks for coming in. Been kind of like a oddball, at least in the first volume of Excalibur. And I had supported the Kickstarter, got myself a nice David Mack cover, which I've shown off in the past. Some prints, which I've shown off in the past as well. But the titles themselves, again, I wasn't too familiar with them. The first was, I believe the character is Nairobi. It's called Nairobi. She is Life. She is Life. Um, Interesting story. Not great, not bad, at least in my opinion. Um, the second one, I can't remember the character's name. It kind of reminded me of something out of Jungle Book. You have a human child adopted into this tribe of orcs. That one I enjoyed a lot more. I think it's called something Dursa. And then there was a third one, something called The Stranger. Very, very well done. That was definitely my favorite out of the three. All in all, cover art on each book was amazing. Interior art, Dursa was good. Nairobi was just okay. Stranger was excellent. I don't know if it's something I would buy again or continue to read. I know that they have another Kickstarter that's active now, at least. If there's another cool David Mack cover, I may take a look into it, but we'll see. I wasn't 100% sold. And again, I did read another digital series you'll be hearing more about probably next week. So I'm kind of done here. I didn't get the ash can or the Steve Conjay artwork or the short box thing I was hoping, but I think it was a pretty good pull here. Dark Claw I have, but I haven't been able to find it, so that's a good pickup. Toxic Avenger I think I also have. The Walking Dead I could kind of give or take. That's something I would consider giving away or selling. But all in all, I like the Soldier Supply boxes. Maybe I'm a little skewed in my view on that, but I think that's a good value. You get a lot of good supplies, and some good comics and some good tchotchkes here as well. So again, before I leave, I want to remind everybody that the 100 subscriber contest is just days away from ending. If you haven't entered in yet, go ahead and do so. Again, you can do it whether you're a content creator or not. Look for my video that has the 100 subscriber information on it to enter. And if you do post a video, let me know about it. I want to see it, number one. I want to make sure I don't miss it. And I also have included the video submissions in a playlist. You can look that up on my channel. I've actually put both videos at the end of my last couple videos. So if you need an easy reference, there you go. With that, I want to thank you for checking in with me on a Sunday. Not our typical day, but I'll be back next Saturday. We'll be announcing the winner of the 100 subscriber contest. Again, I'm going to be getting a gift card to your LCS. So I like this because we're going to support your LCS and give you some nice comics as well, or whatever you'd like to buy there. It's an easy thing to do, and Neil, as I said before, I know I'm repeating myself and being redundant at this point. I really liked everybody's creativity in making these videos. If you're not a content creator, you can leave a comment. If you are, I would love to see your video. With that, I want to thank you guys again for checking in. Enjoy the rest of your day, your weekend, your weekend. We're almost done there. I'm sorry, I'm still hit by the heat here. Take care, everybody. Peace, love, and comics.